Welcome to the Discover SRQ video podcast. Are you interested in learning about commercial real estate loans and business loans? Well, today we have an awesome guest in the studio that will be telling us all about it. Welcome to Discover SRQ video podcast. My name is Marius Mocan, a realtor here in the Sarasota area. Today we have Dina Kroshkin with Total Loan Solutions. Now, the reason why we have Dina in today is because she's going to be talking to us about business, real estate loans, and also business loans in general. Now, Dina and I met about 2 years ago when a mutual friend acquainted us when she was looking for investment property for herself. I feel like we hit it off right away. We totally clicked as far as working together. It was a very good experience for me, at least.
Likewise.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I immediately wanted to partner with you because I felt like you were very entrepreneurial. You're a very strategic person when it comes to investing, and I really feel like you're kind of a powerhouse. You know, that's just kind of my experience working with you. Your reputation is very important to you. You've always been very helpful whenever I've had any questions as well. And as I'm starting to grow my business, trying to get more into commercial side of things, I knew I wanted to partner with you. And
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate the trust.
Absolutely. We built that trust together over time. Thank you for coming in today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Such a pleasure. No, thank you for inviting.
Yeah.
I was actually very much looking forward to this conversation. You and I have known each other through business and some personal aspects, and
Right.
It's fun to do something like this together. I really appreciate you thinking of me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, I like to bring the best of my network in to kind of do an episode like this. And basically, I just wanted to quickly go over, how did you get into the business?
It's a long story. They always say that you never choose to be a banker, and a banking career is kind of a career by default. And for the most part, it is, especially for the most people that I have met in banking. Most of them ended up there by default. But I was studying at Washington State University in the state of Washington, and my original plan was to get my degree in accounting. And then I started taking more accounting and finance classes, and I've quickly determined that accounting is not my jam. But finance was. So I was finishing up my degree while I was working at a local bank. I started there as a teller. And then I got through my studies, and I had a couple of classes left, and I had a selection to make, whether it was one more accounting class that I really disliked, or I was tasked to find a paid internship. It's a little hard to find paid internships just because you're an intern, you're not really qualified, you have to find a company that is willing to take you in. So I reached out to my manager. Back at that point, I was working at a call center at a credit union and was assisting people with their calling-ins in regards of auto loans or anything that was really lending related. So I asked her to find me some kind of internship at a different department, and my goal was to get into investments. Well, investments wasn't available, but our commercial lending department needed some help. And I took a 6 months internship there and really started learning about lending and commercial property financing and business financing. So I spent 6 months there and kind of did all the nitty-gritty work that needed to be done on financial analysis. I ended up liking it, and they ended up liking me, and I just stayed in commercial lending ever since.
That's awesome. That's kind of my story as well. Right out of college, I got into banking as well for a big bank, the world's biggest bank, I believe they are. I don't know, do you know the Pearl District in downtown?
Of course, I know
Portland?
the Pearl District
in
Portland.
We were a small little branch, but we had the most volume with the least amount, the biggest deposits
Makes sense.
in the state, actually, with the least amount of people coming in through our doors. And I really loved working with customers of all types. But my favorite customers to work with were small businesses, getting them set up with accounts, getting them set up with credit products, teaching them how to build business credit. As you know, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion are your personal credit bureaus that report your personal credit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got Equifax and Experian, but then you also have Dun & Bradstreet.
Yes.
As far as when you go and you branch off and try to start and establish business credit. And I just loved teaching about that. A lot of very, very excited people to get their business going off the ground. They had no clue on how to get that going. And that was actually my favorite thing to teach. I also went into small businesses and taught employees how to build credit. And, because I established that relationship with the business owner. So I kind of relate with where you're at, but you've taken it to a much deeper level than I've ever gotten with that. So
yeah, well, I just chose to pursue that. We had two different aspects going on. When you're at an institution and you're in a smaller institution and you're in a commercial lending department or the business lending department, you kind of get to do it all.
Mm-hmm.
And we had two aspects. So we had commercial real estate investment property financing, which was really working with the investors that are purchasing properties that are income producing and are your bigger projects. Maybe they're your apartment complexes or your office buildings, and really going to all of those retail or huge retail boxes or such. But then you're also working with the small business, and that was the most interesting and rewarding part for me. Is I was able to see people coming in with a business plan, writing it on paper, putting your projections down, and then making that dream their reality, watching them over the years. And, them opening that first frozen yogurt shop. And now you go down the road and, 17 years later, that shop is still there. And it's just rewarding to be like, okay, I was a part of it. Like I contributed to them being able to get their first business loan and to open the doors for their shop. And now they're creating employment opportunities. They're serving the community. It's one of the shops where people gather together and they're still in business. So I looked at it and was like, wow, what a rewarding career. You can be in bigger investment projects where it's complex, it's an accomplishment, but then you can also work with the smaller businesses and the businesses that are really in your communities and the people that are creating America, so to say, right?
The American dream.
Correct. Yeah. So once I saw that, I was like, I don't know that I need to go anywhere else. I have it all.
And I really feel like, us being immigrants, migrating here as children, we really have a different perspective on the American dream, and we really have a different appreciation that, hey, you can come here and you can do whatever you want. But what's great about it is that what I was actually going to ask you, what is your favorite part of what you do? And you just told me, but basically you have so many resources.
Yeah, it's the resources, but then it's the ability to participate, and it's the ability to take that American dream or that American opportunity and see it become life and being built on, and see people that have done it from from very little and have built it to something huge, and now are passing it down through generations. So it's kind of like I get to see it happening in reality versus it being written somewhere in a book or in some kind of magazine where it was maybe just a story. But it's like, how do you implement it? How do you make it real? And being in the commercial lending and the business lending arena and the aspect, I kind of got a roadmap, right? It's like, well, why invent something? Why not just get to learn what other people have done and what has worked? So I've now seen numerous business opportunities, and some of them I implemented for myself. Others I helped my friends implement. So it's kind of like knowledge and information is power, but it's worthless if it's not shared.
And you can't turn it off, right?
You can't turn it off.
When someone asks one little question, you just have to
Well, it's
The
right there.
floodgates are open, right?
You
So
have to share it.
exactly. And you're from Latvia, right?
I am
You're
from
Russian?
Latvia. I am Russian from Latvia. Yeah. My parents have moved our family to States back in 1998. They've never looked back.
Right.
We've never looked back, but it's been a great place for us, for everyone to live and develop and build their careers. But it's also so fun to travel back to Latvia or go back to Europe and explore. So I've kind of stayed in touch with that part of the world.
Right. And I was born in Transylvania, Romania, and my friends have just started a new nickname for me. They call me the Count.
The Count.
The Count of Dracula. And same thing, you know, we were raised behind the Iron Curtain of communism. And I remember when Nicolae Ceausescu, who was the Romanian president at the time, was shot and killed, and all the other little countries around Eastern Europe started, you know, hey, we're done with this. We want opportunities. And I remember running away to America, just not knowing. We had no idea what we're going to see since we were shut off from the rest of the world. And now when you come here, it's just like, wow, the amount of opportunities, you know, as long as you're persistent and you're willing to utilize resources and you know, talk to people like you're just an amazing strategist. Like you said, you know, the roadmap, you can already see the story. You know, they come in with a napkin. Hey, this is my business plan. You're like, all right, let's take that and just put together a plan.
Yeah, let's make your dream a reality.
Exactly. And right now people are just eating up everything. Entrepreneurship is just such a popular thing right now. And if you look at any entrepreneur, they'll tell you utilize credit, leverage credit.
Yes.
Loans. Don't just throw your own money at things. Keep your money safe, invest it in other ways, but don't use your own money. Go out, get a loan, and leverage your debt, right?
Yeah, well, and debt in itself is a great tool.
Amazing
tool. It could be used wisely or not. But it gives you an opportunity to go farther and faster than you may be able to do it with your own capital, with your own savings account. Now, there's different kind of debt. You could go into a lending institution and borrow funds. Or you can pool a pool of money together from either your friends or family that are also investing it. So debt has a different structure. It has a different pricing category. It's got different terms. So it really depends on what are you trying to do. For example, if you'd like to buy investment properties and you have $100,000 that you have saved up, right? You could try to save for another 20 years and maybe save up to $600,000 so you can buy yourself an investment property, whether it is a duplex or a little office building or whatnot. So you're losing 20 years of potential income. Or you could go to a bank and borrow the $500,000, put in what you have already saved up, and start building that income, start building that appreciation in your property. Once you are, a few years into it, you could trade out and buy a bigger property that is creating more income for you. The question is, how much debt versus how much income, and how much are you paying for that debt? Because at this point, now that you've taken out a loan, it's now just the cost of doing business. So a lot of people are uncomfortable with debt, but a lot of people are not wise with debt. If you're going into debt, it should be making you money and paying for that debt versus just going up and skyrocketing all the credit cards for all of the vacations you'd like to take, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah, so you definitely should be utilizing all of the tools that are out there in the market. And what is your goal? What is your strategy? Are you wanting to build a business that is going to be there down the road for your kids? Well, it'll probably take you 20 years to build a business. If you'll be waiting 10 of those years to save up the money to get there, you've lost 10 years.
Absolutely. And if you look at it, a loan is untaxed money.
Correct.
So why would you not take that loan, leverage that debt to make more money?
And you get to write off the interest on that
And you
loan.
write off the interest. So how do you think people get rich? So basically, debt has been kind of demonized in culture because of credit cards and auto loans and other things that people kind of tend to abuse or, overutilize, overextend themselves. But ever since I was 18 years old, I remember as soon as I turned 18 years old, my father said, let's go to your bank and we're going to get you your first credit card, and taught me how to utilize it. He said, okay, you've got your credit card, you've got your debit card. From now on, you're going to keep your debit card in your pocket and you're going to use your credit card, and then you're going to just put everything on your credit card, pay it off in full. But that's not free money. Now I've got an 850 credit score. In my adult life, I've never had anything under like 750.
You've done an A+ job on your credit score.
Because I was taught, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and schools don't teach this.
No, unfortunately, they don't.
Schools don't teach this. They don't teach you entrepreneurship. They don't teach you anything other than just to be an employee, how to become a very good employee for someone else and to build them wealth. So I really suggest giving Dina a call and really start, no matter how early on in the process you are of starting a business, or if you have been a business owner for a while, she has something for everyone. What's something that you kind of like to specialize in as far as what's sort of like the main products that people use?
Well, our firm, or at least the sources that we have through our firm and my contacts, we offer both. We'll offer commercial real estate financing, so investment property financing, whether it's residential or truly full-on commercial, your office building, your industrial buildings, all the way to getting the business financing. And most of it is done through SBA loans. So I don't choose one or the other. I do them both because I have the ability to do them both. Our firm has that ability. There's a lot of options out there. Especially today. Yes, the interest rates are high. Yes, you will likely need to bring in more cash injection, whether you're purchasing a property or you're starting a business. Yes, lenders are a little bit more conservative than perhaps they were about 3 years ago. We're in a different interest rate environment. We're in different pricing market. But there's still opportunities out there. And it really depends on what is the individual's goal. I am happy to take a phone call and walk through all of the options that individual may have. And what are their goals? I mean, are they looking to buy a house? Are they looking to start a business? And are they also needing an investment property? That's 3 projects all in one. So which one do you tackle first? Well, how much capital do you have saved up? Which one is going to be producing income faster in order for you to accomplish your other 2 goals? So those are all strategies, and those are all the opportunities that need to be discussed and considered, especially in the current environment with the higher pricing structure on any kind of loan that you may be getting. Yes, it's a little bit more expensive, but there's still great opportunities out there and ability to make money on any kind of investment that you're doing.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for coming in today. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to meet with me today and to share your knowledge. And we will put her information down below as far as her contact info. Dina is so knowledgeable. I really encourage you to give her a call or send her an email.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being here. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
And yeah, any of your listeners or friends or anyone else that really just has a business question, please feel free to reach out. Always happy to help.
Absolutely. And I'm learning a lot from her as well. I'm going to be picking her brain because this year I sold 3 industrial properties. That's kind of my sort of entry into getting into more commercial stuff.
It's a great start.
So I definitely want to pick your brain about moving forward, so I know these products at least a little bit, enough to be dangerous.
Yeah.
So
you got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. Exactly. So thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Marius.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this episode. If you have a question, please feel free to reach out to me or Dina directly, and we would love to connect with you. Also, if you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.